Make sure she's on time. Oh, here she is.
Hey, I
Hello,
have 3
hello.
o'clock here.
Yeah,
Hello,
Hi,
hello.
well,
Rami.
maybe your clock is slow, but okay.
Yeah, well, my phone just said
It's
3.
about 20 minutes. We've been here 20 minutes.
Look,
No,
look at Rami's lighting.
No,
I'm
it's
just kidding.
shocking me.
I'm just
Hi,
kidding.
Usama. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Look at Rami's lighting.
Okay. My light. What's
My
wrong with
lighting.
your lighting? Oh
It's
my God,
bad.
are you coming?
You know what I need to
Oh,
buy? I need to buy the same thing you have. It's called a soft box.
Yeah, softbox.
Soft box.
okay.
My
Wow.
lights are too strong. I need something that diffuses the light. That's what you have. Look at all these shades I'm making.
I was
Yeah.
I was telling him that this looks like Nur al-Iman.
Nurul Iman. Well, look what I got here. I have this,
Yes, that's what I need.
and I
Yeah.
don't have it directly
So is
because
that how
it
it's supposed to
becomes
be?
too
You
hot.
aim it away from you rather than at you?
Yeah, it's just too much. So I paint better
I
this
tried
way.
to take mine and aim them away, and they do nothing. But I
Well,
guess
Oh,
if it's diffused, then it'll work.
well, you
yeah,
have to have this kind of housing for it in order to be able to turn it away from you and have it not create that kind of an effect. I do have
yeah,
something like what Ragad has. It has a kind of a piece of white fabric that actually makes the light diffuse. I'm not using it right now, but
okay,
it actually does have a nicer effect by making things less harsh.
yeah. It is. Looks
Okay,
like
so this is a weird episode. Weird, and well, for one way it's weird is we're not going to do all the normal things we do, like announcements and stuff. It's also weird. Like it's a weird topic. Somebody on the last live stream wanted to find out why my mom and I left Islam, and we thought to dedicate an episode to that. I've talked about it a little bit before, but never like a whole episode. And I thought
yeah.
the thing is Usama interviews us. So
Okay.
okay, so there we go. Now it's fixed.
Ah, wow, magic,
Yeah.
magic.
It looks like our logos are actually also it's almost symmetrical. Do you
Yeah,
notice
and
what
almost
happened?
right aligned with each other. Wow. I
Yeah.
didn't never intended that.
Wow, yeah.
You know when you have this kind of a locket that gets broken in two pieces and then you bring them together, all of a sudden, it's
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes
And
it
if you guys
clicks.
remember, my version, you can't see it unless it's really big. Like if it's just the two of us, I think. My
Yeah.
version shows it in English. Usama's
Ah,
version shows the Quran in Arabic.
in Arabic. Hmm.
And still no one
Wow.
has asked me about it. And I can't wait till somebody, because what's on there is interesting. It's not just the Quran. I wrote other things on there.
well, the
Right.
problem with it
Yeah.
is that the text is too small. Even if you have a big screen, you won't be able to actually make it out. So you have to have it explained or
Yeah,
to
Mama, can you
show it.
read that or no? On
It's
Usama's
very far. It's not
side, it's not
because I
legible?
could tell. I could tell it's Arabic, but
Yeah.
I can't read it from here.
Okay.
It's too small.
Okay.
And I don't know. Do you see me with what? There is some kind of black box on my this side. This side. Do you see that, or I'm only me?
No, no.
I don't know what is this.
But you see the same thing we're seeing, right? Like
Oh,
you see
now
the
it's
whole
gone.
screen.
It's gone. It was a video that I was watching. It's okay.
Okay. On her
You
screen.
can tell
Okay.
professionals.
So, by the way, Gurwak or Ben Suisse is also Gurwak, says hello. Happy
Hi.
Exorcism Awareness Month. Yeah, we still got
Yeah.
10 more days. This is a good time to do
Yeah.
this, I guess.
Yes.
Zenith X3, Zenith times 3. Zenith, yeah. Sorry, I cannot say stay, but I want you to know, as an ex-Muslim, I support all of your bravery, tenacity, perseverance, and integrity. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's important.
Yeah. So, do you want to get started?
Yeah,
Ooh.
so
Yes, go
since we
ahead.
have had a lot of conversation, you and I, Rami, maybe a kind of a different perspective would be Raghad's, because
Okay.
it would be something new to the channel. It would be something.
Well, eventually my stuff's gonna come up anyway because our stories are connected.
Yeah, and
Right.
it might
Yes,
also
it's
be a kind of a context or an overall framing idea, because obviously if you grow up in a household where there is an effect like your mom's, it's definitely something that's going to show up eventually in your makeup and how you eventually treat religion. So,
Yes.
did you grow up religious, Rod?
No, I wasn't. My father was different than his family. My family, Akili family, which is my maiden name, last name, they are religious. But when I left in the 70s, they were not as religious as now.
When you left Syria, when you were
Yes,
19.
when I left in 1975. So, but my father was different. My father, he supported himself. He studied on his own. His family was not very supportive or couldn't be supportive. He was the first person who finished college from his
family?
previous generations. His his father. I'm sorry. His father was a teacher, but before that, none of them were, educated. And the other side, my side, my mother was the first one to have a high school out of 80 women in whole Syria.
So it's relatively educated family in Syria, at
Yes.
least relative to Syria.
Education was the reason I'm here right now.
So would you say that this might have
Yeah.
been the main reason why he ended up with a kind of a different mentality from what you were
Yes.
describing about the rest of the family?
Yes.
And to be clear about what mentality
Yeah.
we mean, me and my mom say this all the time. I think I've said it on here before. My grandfather, her father, we believe was atheist,
Yes.
ex-Muslim, while high closet version of that, like so many people talk about. That's what he was. And then
So
it affected my mom, which affected me, and then it affected my kids.
Exactly.
So like 3 generations after
I
him.
I thank him for this, even though he never admitted it. He always gave excuses somehow why the Quran the way it is. But he always used to tell me, Ragad, read the Quran, but read it in between lines. Learn to understand the book without being literally of each word. Okay. So that was like shocking to me. And I was, fine with it. He never made me, wear the hijab. And even my own sisters and my mother had the freedom to take it off or not. It doesn't matter. She put it on in her life. But so the first inkling of doubt started when I was 13. I did not know that until like 10 years ago. That little seed was implanted in my
I
brain.
thought it was earlier. I heard you tell me stories. What was the event?
13. No, it was in the classroom. It was religious classroom. We had a guy, a man, a teacher, and he, as you know, they always try to make you memorize all the time, just without understanding, just memorize. So I got to Surah An-Nisa, and I got to the place, 34, and it's telling the husbands that they should beat their wives if they don't obey. I was fine, whatever it was up to this point. I was not happy at all. I was reading and I was shocked. And so I got up and said, why this ayah like this? Why God doesn't love us as women? Are we, why? And he kept saying, why? And he says, what are you talking about? Just sit down. he did not let me even. He didn't even make me understand or try to.
He wasn't trying to answer your question.
Justify, even justification. He says you're not allowed to question. Even questioning was not allowed. I sat angry. I went back to my family.
Somebody's asking about Persian culture. I wonder if somebody's thinking we're Persian or something. I don't know why that came up.
No, we're originally Syrians. We're Syrians.
Syrian and then
Usama
you could say
from
maybe
Jordan.
Turkish. That's the same thing, though. You know what I mean? Like,
but what's the difference? What's the
we're
difference?
on the
We all
border
came from the
between.
same
We're right on the
religion.
border between Syria and Turkey.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, your dad, his mom was from Turkey originally.
Greek. She's Greek.
Yeah, originally, yeah. But when she was 13, she went to Turkey.
Yeah.
And then her kid, your dad, is a little, Turkish. But Turkish and Syrian, I don't even know. There's not much difference.
And even if you'd say Persian, when you're talking about that time, if you go maybe 100 years ago, yes, Persia was still a place where Shiism was the predominant sect, but it was much more different in the sense that it wasn't as institutionalized as it is right now. So when you get the impression of someone is from Persia and you end up with the Iranian Revolution and all this stuff, it was a very different place back then. So even then, when you think about the differences, and I'm by no means an expert in Persian history, especially recent history, but it would be something that's very different from what we have today.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question, Mama? I remember you told me something that is much younger than when you were 13. And I think it was in school. Yeah. And you were drawing, and then you got in trouble for drawing, and then somebody told you that's a sin.
It's after that. It's after that play when I was talking
13.
After I was 13. Yes, I was 16. I got kicked out. Listen, because at 13 I started doubting, I did not have enough respect. When I know that my own family, women in our families, being beaten by their husbands, and they go to the judge, and the judge says, "Go home and obey your husband, so you don't get beaten."
Aram Doodles is with us. Sandy.
Yeah, hi.
No.
So when that happens. Now that the idea is gone. What I was talking.
It's okay, it'll come back.
Saying, so when I, of course, is when I was
16.
Well, I was talking about how to beat wives. When I saw my family being beaten, and I go, how I lost respect. Maybe love I did not lose because my heart still was. In love. I don't know with what. With Muhammad and the whole thing. But I was not in love. I lost respect eventually. And that's why it came to the point where I, at that time, I was, my friend, everybody knows I draw faces. And my friend asked me to draw her face. And I said, no, look, we're going to get in trouble. It's religious and whatever. And she said, no. So I drew her while I was there. And then what I saw, I looked up. I saw that my teacher looking down at me, started yelling at me and saying, Allah yoruf amrik ya rakat.
Let's translate for people. Allah, so God, what's yoruf?
Just kill you. It's like
and amrek means your whole life. Your whole.
Oh, I know. It's snap. It's snap.
Break your life.
Your neck. Snap your life. Yes, break your neck.
That's what he's saying to you. But I wonder, people say it so much they don't even know what they're saying, right?
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, it's something that's very often something that gets said. This and so many different expressions that it becomes so normalized that people don't really realize what
they don't know what they're saying. Not much different than the term like motherfucker. If somebody says it here, we're not saying
Oh,
that
Rami,
you're a
don't say that.
person that.
I taught you not to do that when you were a
Anyway.
child. I don't say it. I don't want to hear it. No.
What am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to tell my point?
Oh, okay. Well, make it say
I gotta say the
start
MF
with
word?
the word M.
The MF word?
The M.
Nobody will know what I'm saying. That doesn't work.
That's an interesting dynamic going on now.
And it's very old.
Very old.
When I was like 6 years old,
Yes.
I don't remember this. My mom tells me. I came home from school, like the first year of school, and I said, Mama, why is everybody stupid? And she didn't answer my question. And she's like yelling at me for saying, hey, you can't call people stupid. But I had a question that should have been answered too. Anyway.
But the teacher got me, she got me to her school and she said, your son tells everybody stupid. And I came to home and I tried to represent you a little bit, but it didn't work. Looks like, no.
Maybe I didn't hear the real story, but if I ask you the question, why is everybody stupid? You shouldn't worry about the word.
Well,
whatever language you want.
Didn't you recently have a series of asking about why everybody is stupid?
Yeah, well, so that question, why is everybody stupid, when I was 6 years old, I didn't drop the question. I've been still thinking about it my whole life. I use different words now. But it's the same kind of thing. Anyway, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, Rami. So one time we do the whole session about that. We could just talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
So
can we answer a quick question?
Saying,
can we answer a quick question from the chat?
Go ahead.
Gerwalk is asking about my grandfather, your dad, about the reason that he chose to stay closeted. And he's asking the kind of obvious thing, isn't it because of what could have happened if he exposed? So, Mama, why don't you say in Syria at the time, what would it have been like if he exposed it?
Well, his whole family, they're shuyukh, they're imams, they have zawiyat. Zawiyat means corners to pray, and they're like big deal over there. And he is only one of few that he was not religious, never even set foot in mosques, and he used to criticize imams because he thinks they're making young people's brains sick with violence and mistreat women and all that. That's why.
Can you give some kind of a year or some general era where this happened? Was that before or after the Ba'ath Party, or when would you say, in what year roughly are we talking about?
Okay, it's after Hafiz Assad was, my father was a regular person who he was in the army. They used to take him to Russia. He was friends with Russian people in the army.
And Russians, for people who don't know, Russians are very atheist. Like they're anti-theist, even anti-theist.
Yes. So he was feeling he's not gonna say his mind, what he actually says or he thinks of the religion of Islam. He came to Syria and he was closeted. So he was talking in little innuendos. He used to really hate imams, the worst thing. And he says about Quran, right? One time he actually wasn't critical of Quran very much. He liked the language. He said, if you ever read the Quran without al-qadasa, it means to
sanctity.
Yes, you will like. You like it. What's wrong with it?
Without the consecration, without giving it this kind of sacredness aura that you're actually treating it as a kind of a sacred text.
Sacred. It's he did not. He read it without sacred.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like untouchable, unquestionable.
Yeah. Yes. He questioned everything. He was very smart, and he was very educated. He read like every night. I see him like up to like 3, 4 in the morning. He's reading. He's always reading, and so that's why I say education leads to people leave Islam.
So did we answer the question? Like, did you basically say, yeah, he could get killed?
Yeah, he was feeling.
Was
that
he worried about
killed.
us also? It's more than that, right? He's worried about
I did
saying
not-
something to his kid.
No, I did not
and then
feel
the
about you.
kid blurting things out.
I didn't feel about you because you, as you know.
I don't know why you're talking about you. We're talking about your grandfather choosing. I don't exist yet in this scenario.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He was worried about telling his kids, right? So that because the kids
Yes.
might expose things and they get in trouble.
Exactly. So he used to sit in setting in. He was very courageous. He didn't care. He didn't want to mess up our lives, because at that time, 50 years ago, that will mess up our lives. If you come out and say, I left religion.
Similar to today?
No, now it's better. No, it's worse at that
I
time.
know it was. Well, first of all, let's help people with the presidents at the time, because there's not that many. You know, there was the two Asseds. What was the years?
The years?
The decades?
The decades. Well, in the 60s and 70s. Yeah.
The first Assad 60s and 70s, and the period of time we're talking about is during that time.
Yeah, during that time.
Why wasn't it safe with a guy? And from what I understand, that guy is like an atheist, or let me at least say it this way: he's running his government in a secular way.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Not exactly.
He didn't
not
care.
Exactly.
No.
Religious was freedom. There's freedom of religions at that time. We never knew. I'm telling you, this is the truth. Up to the 80s, we never talked about being Sunni or Shia. I never knew. We never talked about it. We're Muslims.
When was the first time you heard the terms Sunni and Shia?
Oh my God, in the 80s.
How,
In the 80s, when I'm already,
you were in America already?
I don't remember.
You're telling me when you were in Syria, you never even heard those terms? I was shocked. I was shocked for my own context.
No, I knew about Rami. Listen, Rami, I knew about it, but we never talked about it in the house. We never said, "Well, we're Sunnis and they're Shias. We're not supposed to talk about them."
Did you at least know supposedly what your family was, Sunni or Shia?
What was the question? I didn't get it.
Did you know at the time? Did your parents tell you?
I knew.
We're Sunni?
No. I knew I was Sunni. Yes.
But it was never discussed.
But in politics terms, the government, which is Hafiz Assad, they are Alawiyin. Alawiyin, originally they're Shiites. So we knew about it, but we never even sat around. We have our Armenian, we have Christians, we have even Jews. We had Jews. Yes. In my classroom, listen. In my classroom, we had 2 Jewish Syrian girls. Every religious, class, they used to go to their own little class.
You're saying there wasn't really.
And we go to class.
When you said even Jews, are you trying to say that back then there wasn't really any animosity towards Jews?
No. If you're Syrian and you're Jews, you're Syrian.
But this is well after 48.
Yeah,
I think during 48 there was a lot of animosity, and a lot of Jews did actually have a lot of backlash in Arab countries because of that.
And then they had to leave.
But maybe in Syria it went away kind of quickly, or I don't know. I mean, a lot of them left, right? Anyway, we're kind of getting off topic.
Most of them left. Most of them.
Somebody's asking about how even Islam got to, I don't know if it's worth going this far back. This is not even our family, but they're asking, how did Islam even get to Syria in the first place?
Futuhat Islamiyya. Al-Futuhat.
You're saying war. Okay, Futuhat means the opening, meaning like opening the world up to Islam. What?
Yeah, the conquest.
Conquest. Well, Yeah, but futuhat just means openings.
Yeah, but
Right.
that's how it's usually translated, conquests.
Yeah, they don't want to. No, they want to. They don't want to admit it and say conquest. They want to call it futuhat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're
Of
totally
course.
using a euphemism. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And when Muhammad and they went, he went. Khadija took, sent him in this garages of camels and for trades. She sent him to Syria. There is a section about what Muhammad said about Syria, the greenery
And to be clear
and the
for everybody,
water, and Rami, we had flushing toilets in Syria before they got to us.
Okay, let's
Muslims
tell people
got to
when.
us.
So Islam is 1,400 years old. It entered Syria and became a thing only 100 years after that, right?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah,
So we're talking 1,300 years now. It's been in Syria.
Yeah, of course, and took over.
The history of how Syria became part of, or how Islam got to it, is a little bit complicated, because the main dynasty that went there through Muawiyah was actually a little bit its status is not entirely clear. There are even people who say that Muawiyah isn't even an Arab, that this was actually already a Byzantine family. I'm not saying that this is necessarily the mainstream opinion, but it's definitely something that's out there. So, like in all of these places, Islam never actually went in and all of a sudden people turned Muslim and started speaking Arabic.
No, it takes a long time.
It's something that took a long time. It was especially in Egypt, where you actually had people hundreds of years after the Muslims went in, where they were still Christian. They refused. They were making revolutions against them. It was a big mess.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking a good question, but it's again deep and not really related to things of this, maybe. But
discussions.
The question is: are Syrians Arabs then?
And
no, we're not.
I have a few things to say about that. Let me actually say something about about my own genetic makeup. So when I did my genetic analysis, using one of those companies that take samples, I have something like 25% from the Levant, 10% from the Arabian Peninsula, even though I'm not sure what kind of connection. Something like 10% from Turkey, Anatolia, and that region. A few percentage from Persia. So it's a kind of a big mix. My point here is that people who today recognize a kind of a lineage in those places, and they say, well, what happened was that the Arabians came and took over in this place. You have to keep in mind that we are the people who survived the conquests. Our lineage comes from people who actually ended up being subjugated, being intermarrying with the conquerors. And so when I have, for example, part of my lineage shows Arabian Peninsula, what does that mean? It means that probably at one point there was someone who came out from Arabia who intermarried with someone that's local.
And but also maybe not just consensual marriage and forceful and rape.
Yeah, that's
Sabaya. What do you think for Sabaya?
Yeah, we're talking
and there's
about
tons of that all over the world.
Yeah, we're talking about slaves that eventually end up being owned by the conquerors, and so there is a huge intermix that happened. So even though there is definitely a kind of a conquest that took place at one point, and people were subjugated, right now, 14 or 15 centuries after the event, there has been a lot of intermixing that happened willingly and unwillingly.
But anyway, they asked. Now they're clarifying their question. What they mean by Arab is like by blood. So
2% for
are they
me.
asking what Syria, like, do Syrians have blood ties to the Arabs from 1400 years ago? Well, the answer is yes, a little bit, but it's not a lot.
No, for me, 2% from the peninsula.
Oh, you checked yours.
I'm 49, almost 50% south of Italy.
But that's probably true for
where my
all the Arab
grandmother
countries
was.
except for Saudi Arabia and the peninsula, right?
Exactly. The Arabs are only from Saudi Arabia. Syrians were
but that's also true for
Arabs.
things like okay, Syrians in general, let's say on average, might have more Greek in them than Arab.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's you know, because the Greeks were there too. Tons of fucking Syria was like the middle of the world in a world without ships yet. Okay, it's the middle of the world.
Yeah, you can also think about Egypt, the way that it became exactly the same way, where for several centuries it was essentially a Greek empire, and you had also the Romans. So Egyptians, they do have a kind of a lineage that has nothing to do with the Arabs, but it's also a big mix that has Greeks, has
huge mix.
So when people today start talking about an Arab identity, there is no really such a thing unless you really go ethnically to Saudi Arabia.
Let me tell you how I was confused about that. So before I left Islam, I kind of saw myself as, you know, and the labels we are given in America is I'm Arab American, okay, or Syrian American. And I think of that and I'm like, okay, I'm like both or like half. Then I went to Syria, and I was in Syria when I was 3, and then again when I was 10, but then again when I was 26. And when I was 26 as an adult, that's when I'm really processing things better. And that's when I went over there and realized I am nothing like these people. I'm more like 99% American, 1% Arab, and the Arab part is like, I like Yabra.
Great, please.
It's not true, though. I'm exaggerating. There are things I like about my own culture. I say that a lot about every culture, by the way. You can't just throw out your own culture because you.
Oh yeah, me too. I like some of the. Yes, I do. Me too.
And I just want to clarify actual ties to Islam. Supposedly, my mom is a descendant of Umar. Oh, I mistyped it. Umar ibn Khattab, which is the 3rd or 4th leader after Muhammad.
Yeah. You want me to tell you about what happened?
Yeah, and I don't think he was a good guy.
Well, when I was a Muslim, I was proud. I was the most proudest person. Oh my God, I am the descendants of Umar ibn Khattab al-Khalifa. So after I knew what he did and what happened and what all this, he is the one who created the hijab for women. He is the one who يعني نعم العرب المسلمات العرب بهالحجاب مشان ايش؟ مشان مصلحته هو. في قصه هيها لما نعيدها، قصه ما كثير حلوه ابدا. ايه فهو يعني he was the reason.
I'm talking about Arabic. Nobody's listening in Arabic.
I'm sorry. Yes, I switch back and forth.
By the way, somebody's mentioning that Damascus existed before Muhammad. I'm not sure why they're saying that. Syria is really, really, really fucking old.
10,000 years old.
Is it that old?
Yeah, they dug in the city of Aleppo, and they found things dated back to 10,000 years, and they're still doing it right now.
Yeah, and Mesopotamia is older than that, even, right? Like just next door, Iraq.
I think what Ragad is talking about, I think they're called the Natufian culture or something like that. This is a very old kind of pre-agricultural or something at the time when agriculture was being developed. So there were settlements way back.
Well, here, if we want to talk about what religions was in this area and how old those are, I'm pretty sure. Okay, Judaism is 5,000 years old. It was in Syria pretty close to that
Christianity.
Date.
Yes.
Christianity is another 3,000 years later. Zoroastrianism, older than 5,000 years old, older than Judaism. That was in Syria.
And paganism. There were pagans too before that. Yeah.
It
was the middle of the fucking world at that time. It's not the middle of anything now.
Well, take the central mosque in Damascus. what this mosque was really, it used to be a church, and before that it was a pagan temple. So it got reused several times, which is actually not a kind of a weird thing. You can also look at Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. It was a Byzantine cathedral, and then it became a Muslim mosque. Then right now they're not entirely sure what they want to do with it, a museum or not.
It's everywhere.
It's the moment that the conqueror takes over what's considered to be central, and at that time religious places are central, they turn them immediately into whatever they want. Take also go ahead.
By the way, can I interrupt? Am I do I sound very loud or no?
No, it's good. And somehow this system remembers the setting I put for you. It's at 20%. Your audio. I'll check. Good. So we covered Syria's history really far back, and then into Islam, and then into the last 50 years, into my mom's dad's history, which was really just one question so far. We're on one question so far. Yes. Usama asked my mom, were you very religious? That's what my mom was answering. So let's get back to that.
Now, I could go on and go up in life. So I came and got married in America, and my husband is not very religious, and I raised my kids.
He's also not, I'm going to go ahead and add, because this is going to affect my scenario, I think. He's also, he was not very religious, but he was very, and this came out of your mouth, he's very Muslim.
He is, listen, he's a Muslim, but not very, that he doesn't implement it on himself and everyone else in the room, in the house. He was not. But he believed, which is he's entitled to. I mean, everybody's entitled to their beliefs, and he did not push it.
Well,
that's what I
he
liked
wasn't
about
feminist,
him.
Wasn't liberal, you know.
He never. He doesn't like the hijab. He never told me to, put the hijab, and this is what I appreciate.
In his family, they don't do that too, right?
Right, and because
in your family, nobody wore the hijab also.
Turkey. Yeah.
In your family, nobody wore the hijab, but your mom did in a late age.
No, in my family, yes, they did. My relatives, my grandmothers, they did, but not the face, just the hijab.
Yeah. In Syria, the covering the whole face is not even really a thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can say something about what might be the case here. Even if he's a Muslim but not entirely devout, coming to a new place like the US, where you're not part of the culture, your fallback would be on your own cultural baggage, and Islam plays such a huge role. Unless he actually has a kind of an alternative that he comes up with that can replace the religion, religion itself can start replacing those little cultural things that can represent support. And so even though he might not be a devout Muslim, some aspects of the culture of Muslims is going to show up and start be a little bit more explicit than it would have been had he stayed in Syria. That's my guess, because I've seen it in people.
Yes. Well, in particular, my husband's family, they weren't very religious, and part of them, they're from Turkey, and their relatives in Turkey, they're very open, and there's nothing, there is no hijab or nothing, except you would think these women, they're from France or America. So
Turkey is huge. So where in Turkey? Like very close to Europe or very close to Syria?
Antakya, Istanbul, that's
closer to Europe, right?
Yeah.
Istanbul?
Istanbul, but in Antakya, Antioch is a little bit down the coast.
From the south of Turkey. Yeah. And they had lands there. And so the culture is not, I was lucky, to tell you the truth, that I was not married to someone who is religious, very religious, literally like 5 times a day. I wouldn't have lasted.
My dad didn't. Okay, my dad didn't pray at all.
Except
far
in
as
the
I know.
mosque. Yeah, he did in the mosque.
Yeah, when he went, which is how often?
Yeah.
8?
Let's not talk about him. He's not here. Let's talk about me, okay?
Well, it's going
Let's
to be
not talk about
relevant.
your father.
It's going to be relevant about me. The context, the environment I was in. It wasn't very religious. Is the point? Not at
it
all.
wasn't.
In addition, we didn't have, as far as I know, there wasn't a lot of friends either that we interacted with.
Yeah.
Right? Like one family.
We were far away. But don't forget, we put you in Islamic school. You remember?
1 year, my 4th grade.
Yes.
And I don't remember much about it, but I remember being basically just regular education, just like regular school. And I remember a Quran class, but it's just recitation. We didn't learn anything. I didn't learn any ideas, as far as I know.
Well, that's not good. They didn't.
Why is it not good? No, that is good. They weren't saying, "Hey, you need to do, like, for example, jihad," or "Here's how you treat your wife." None of that.
I heard when you were bad, they took you to a room and they
I got swatted.
They swatted you. Yes.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know about that. I didn't know it until later.
And it was this paddle that was like this wide or whatever, and I'm pretty sure that was illegal at the time in Los Angeles, California.
It was illegal. Yeah.
Wow.
But
what is that?
What we did is look. I'll tell you what. Someone who is not religious and why we use religion to keep our kids, as we think at that time, out of trouble. Muslims, religious or not, they use Islam to keep their kids out of trouble, drugs, women, bars, all these bad things for kids. So I remember even me, I was thinking that way too. I mean, it's not just, so my husband and I, we decided to take you to school and then try not to, for them to teach you.
And then I had that thinking all the way up to until I left. Till I left Islam at 32 years old or something.
You thought that way?
So this was something for you, Rami, that you actually thought about and considered as something that's acceptable from your perspective?
Well, let me clarify. I'm not sure what you're saying. What I thought my mom was saying was she wanted to use Islam as a way to teach her kids how to be good.
Yes.
In an environment with drugs and alcohol and all that stuff.
Fear of God.
I had the same thinking. My thinking was like, well, Islam is for morality, teach you how to lead a good life. I want to have a family and kids. In that context, the mother teaches the kids, not the father. From what I understand, at least maybe I got mixed in with American stuff, which is but it's also Arab stuff. The mother stays at home, takes care of the kids. The father's outside the home. So a man would need a wife that understands Islam very well in this context. So I wanted to go overseas and get one of those.
Wow.
And I got married and had 2 kids. And then 4.5 years into that marriage, she kicked me out. She kicked me out, and I'm happy about that.
No, you left. What do you mean she kicked you out?
She kicked me out, and then I left when she said, get out.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I willingly left after she said, get out. She didn't physically remove me. She can't do that. I'm double her weight.
Okay.
But that's the same thing. Anyway, that's what we mean when we say she kicked me out.
Yeah.
That's what a man means he doesn't mean she physically removed him.
I know that. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, you had enough. You had enough of the antics.
Oh, what was really crazy was after I left the house, and now I'm in my parents' house again, and we could talk about other details, but after one night of sleep, and I woke up, my body felt so different. I felt like a mountain wasn't there. That was normally on my shoulders. Wasn't there. What's weird is she came, my wife at the time, came back to the house to talk to me, and my mom was there in the room too. And what was the point of me saying this? Oh, she thought I'm going to come back to her, and I thought that was batshit crazy. Like, dude, I already saw now I see things clearly. Hell fuck no. And I'm not saying I was an ex-Muslim yet.
You have to
Like,
get
I hadn't processed those
some
things yet.
context. Give some
Huh?
context. The reason was he ran away. You ran away, Rami. It's not just that you ran away. It's because she became so religious that it was outrageous. She used to put the Quran recital.
You know, I'm not even. Let me disagree with you.
Inside and
disagree with
upstairs
you.
and downstairs.
I didn't care about the religious stuff. What I care about is more basic, regular human interactions things. So for years, we were married 4.5 years. She was like ruining every one of our relationships with other people.
Yeah. Oh,
The relationships with my family, the relationship with my friends. And it was always something like my wife thinks my mom is doing something, and then she tells me the story, and I'm like, well, how do you know it's not X, Y, or Z? And she doesn't think further than that. No, it's what that's the first thing I thought. That's what it is.
Rami, calm down. Calm down a little bit.
4.5 years of that
Let's
shit.
not go into this.
And that has nothing to do with Islam. It has nothing to do with Islam. Am I right?
For me, it
Islam
was
doesn't
when
make you do
she
these
started
things.
talking about how the jinn went in her body and started talking to her. That's part of the reason.
But that was after. That happened after. After I left the house is when she started saying about jinn bullshit.
Was there something from your perspective?
To me, she was talking about it before.
To you,
And
okay, to you.
Yeah. And I used to try to convince her at that time. So I left Islam is right about the time that this is happening. It was before. As I was saying, I started, doubting the whole thing throughout my life. So I just want to say little things about this part, and then I go back to this one. So what happened to me in very short term, that I stayed in Islam for 30 years, thinking that Quran was not all Quran ayat was from God or from Muhammad. You know.
Where did you think? Where did you think it was from?
Added, and I thought to myself logically, how difficult it is for the people around Muhammad to come and add ayat. They can. Why not? I said, since I was in my 20s, I said to myself, why not? Why they say to us...
And that lets you disagree with anything in the Quran.
I disagree with some of the stuff.
It lets you think for yourself.
Exactly. About women, especially in women parts. I said, absolutely. A God who I love will not let my husband hurt me. You can't. Beating is like, I know from family how women are beaten. And it breaks their heart. It breaks their mentality. It makes them think they are less than animals, less than human beings.
A lot of humans treat animals better than some humans treat humans.
Yeah. So this is what I lived throughout for 30 years. And after I got married, after my kids, throughout the whole time, I'm thinking, I read the Quran and it's like picking and choosing. Like I did the same thing what Muslims do now, pick and choose what I want. And I convinced myself it's because it's added. So no, God loves women, and God will never hurt someone who leaves Quran and religion of Islam. And no, it's all that I took the good.
You were basically a deist already.
And it's good, huh?
You were basically a deist already. You just believe in God and not really a religion.
Exactly.
But you were somehow stuck to this religion.
Up to the time where what happened to your wife, the whole thing.
Yeah. So what my mom is saying, and this answers Gurwak's question. Gurwak is asking, when did Mom Rustom leave and why? What reasons? Was there a build-up or a poof moment? But it sounds like my mom's answering like this. There was a build-up for a long time, since 13 years old.
Build-up to,
And then I guess the event with me, which was the same time that I left Islam, was the straw that broke the camel's back for my mom.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not sure there was a straw. I think there was just one event rather than a bunch of small events. I don't really know. I don't know how to
The
describe
way
it.
it happens to you, it's black and white, just like it happens. It just happened. I can't believe. I remember your face,
There,
just like, oh, I left. Anyway,
there
so
has to be some kind of a buildup that reaches to that point, and the fact
For
that
me, even,
you Ragad are saying that this seems to have also played a role seems to indicate that in both of your cases there was something that was shared in that experience that made it so that it
yes,
actually
what's
was
weird is we didn't talk about, as far as I know, we didn't really talk about it.
no,
I, in my own head, was leaving Islam, and
yes.
her too. My mom's
And
saying
then when
mine was
he came to my
hers was
house,
longer.
we opened the
But during that
subject.
period, we didn't talk about it, and I think I know
Yeah,
why. I think you tried to talk to me about it, and I kept getting angry about it and wanting to leave
yeah,
the discussion. Not
yes,
angry at you, but angry at the whole situation and about even the idea that I was married to this woman, and it was because related to Islam, and you know what I mean? Like, and I think
yeah,
maybe the issue was I was already out, and I just
yeah,
didn't want to discuss Islam with anyone.
yeah. I
I don't know.
remember you shut me, don't, I don't want to talk about it. Don't talk about it. So I used to try to explain to you why she's doing this, because I've been reading about it. Why I kept reading. Now what happened to
What
me
were you
is I
explaining to me,
opened
and
my
why wasn't I
eyes.
wanting to hear it?
Yeah, I opened my eyes and I kept reading on the internet about what the Quran says about this jinn
Like on islamwatch.org, right?
yeah, the first one, yeah,
Which kind of is a dead website now. It's still on the internet. People can go read
still,
old articles. I don't think it's doing anything now anymore, but that was
yeah.
before the world of
And
Reddit and
after
Facebook
this,
groups.
it was the Shabake. After this,
Afterwards.
2012, I started. I just clicked in and I asked to come in, and oh my God, the feelings are first anger of wasting my life thinking, believing in this stuff. And I was angry about women issues. And, I was angry. And then, of course, sad and disheartened and saying what I wasted my life. So I became agnostic for 2 years after that. I believe in a God for 2 years after that, because I was not ready to let it go. I was sad, and so I just let myself believe that there is a God who's better than anything. Islam has nothing to do with Muhammad. Was apparently not a good person. He did, especially when about Aisha, that was like absolutely. Even at that time, I convinced myself about Aisha too, because I thought, well, Aisha, at that time, everybody does it at that time. Didn't I think for myself that he should have been better if Muhammad came to better everybody, the morality of everyone, and now he's not. He's just doing what his ancestor did. That's the questions.
So I
the
wonder if
logical
our
questions
reasoning for leaving Islam is still different, despite it being related to the same event. Because the way I describe why I left Islam seems different than what you describe. You name a lot of things. A lot of things you name.
Yeah.
For me, I just say one very basic thing. Before I left Islam, I saw Islam as a guide, or the guide, the best guide to leading a good life. And I had just watched my ex-wife follow Islam more.
And she's in trouble.
And it was ruining her life. And by that, I mean, like, she believed in jinn and possession and that she's possessed.
Yeah.
That belief on its own is going to fuck up what you do about it.
Well, was that belief in jinn something that you knew about before, or was that something that you discovered when she started?
So I was aware of the concept, and the way I understood it was, okay, fine, maybe there's these entities, just like angels. I also believed in angels, Jinn are like angels, not much different. Until you find out that people, like my ex-wife, they see angels and jinn different. They don't think angels can fuck with them, but apparently jinn can fuck with you. You mean interact in this world?
Yeah.
That was insane to me. As a Muslim, that was insane to me.
Right.
Because that's like ghosts and poltergeists and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which I didn't believe in.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's
You know,
one
but the
incident.
side of symbolism.
But this is
Go
a
ahead,
kind of a
Usama.
very long tradition. That's not something incidental. It's something that's very integral to all of the religions. I can think of examples from
Older than
Islam,
them too.
yeah, but it has accompanied the religion so much. My
And it
thinking
evolved.
is that for me, this wasn't a kind of a surprise. It was built into the religion. I already knew that this is how people view jinn, and you're not supposed to do certain things, otherwise you're going to conjure them up, and they're going to come and possess you or something like that. So this was part of the culture.
Yeah, I thought that was
for
added
you-
superstitions that people did rather than from Islam.
well,
And the whole idea of an exorcist or a jinn healer, that wasn't aware of.
yeah, what I'm saying is that although this is something that does not appear in its ritualistic form in the hadith, for example, it definitely doesn't appear in the Quran, but if you look at it in the hadith, you can see seeds of where this would come from. And so the industry that grew after that, because it literally is an industry, you have people that
They're
profit
making money from it.
this. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
until
of course.
today. Until
Yeah.
today.
Until today.
I went with
you
my
have-
ex-wife to one of these. I wanted to see what she's talking about.
Yeah.
She wanted me to take her to a jinn healer, exorcist, or
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know
my
what she
God.
called him. Maybe she just called him a sheikh or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm going there, like, okay, what the hell is this? I'm trying to not look like think this is insane. You know how you try not to have the big shocked face? You just go, okay. And
Well,
I've
if
been
you go
with her.
there, if you go there, then and you have this kind of incredulous look, then maybe you're not going to be one of those people who would part with their money in order to hire this person. So that's
I don't
so
know.
this wouldn't be-
Part of me was thinking too, okay, just let her do this. Maybe it'll help her. Which is horrible
Yeah.
thinking. Horrible thinking.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe she'll be satisfied and then get over it. Like,
We did it a few times with her. We took her
Really?
to the sheikh. a few
anyway, so
times.
let me tell you what happened. So she took
Not
me to
me.
the sheikh. This
Someone
is in
else. Go
Chicago. We
Yeah.
enter his house. It's the three of us, me, my wife, ex-wife, and by the way, I'm helping her do this after we separated.
Wow.
You know? Anyway.
Wow.
Oh, and we had kids together still, so it's
Yes.
not like I could have just divorced and never think about you
You
again.
tried to help her because you're a good human being.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
went with her, and it's the three of us. I'm sitting across from her. The imam is to the side of us. He has this water bottle. I don't know if it's water or water with something else. And he's reciting things to her. I don't understand it. And he's spraying the bottle on her face, and I'm watching her face. What the fuck is this? She's going like, I don't know. And then we leave, and I'm like, all right, let's see how she's gonna act now. Almost right away, she's like, it didn't work.
Oh.
The jinn is still in her.
Oh.
I'm like, oh my God.
It's in her brain. It's in her brain. Oh my God.
Yeah, what I realized later is something on my own, but then I found out psychiatrists studied this and they came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
You are doing these things because you believe them. It doesn't matter that they don't have to be real.
Yeah.
For you to
Yeah.
believe that you're possessed
Exactly.
by a jinn.
True.
And then the way you act, because there's these things they do that they all do. And then people use this as evidence that it's a real thing since everyone is doing it. I think what's happening is you see someone else do it, and then later you happen to think you're possessed by jinn, and then you just repeat that behavior subconsciously.
Yeah.
You know, like
there's definitely,
let me just say
Yeah.
what it is and show it, okay?
I think that's definitely a component, but there is another component that's likely they're independent of that particular religious the specifics of the religion. So you can find something that's analogous in a different culture, but uses a completely different thing. But I think what you just pointed out is important. This kind of mass psychology where people think, oh, this is something that could have an effect. Therefore, we can attribute this to the jinn or whatever kind of cause they have. So yeah, I think you're right there.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Gerwag is asking, so Mrs. Rustom was a believer in a good God for 2 years after leaving Islam. And then what happened? Well, to clarify, the beginning of the 2 years was the event with me and my ex-wife. And then I left Islam and I became just straight up atheist, no different than I am today. But my mom went through another phase first.
Yeah, for 2 years. Well,
yeah, and the way my mom described it to me was, and this is after the 2 years. She said, I wanted a security blanket.
Yes, security blanket. I was very sad because I really truly believed. Before I slept, even though I did not, pray 5 times, I really truly believed, and I prayed to God before I slept for things I wanted in life.
I want to tell you guys how much I hated the idea of afterlife.
Yeah.
Because of a single thing my ex-wife said to my kids. First of all, when I was a Muslim, and I'm pretty sure this is true for my mom too, I never thought about afterlife. Like that people that are doing bad things here and don't get punished here need to get punished in the afterlife. And people that were victims here and didn't get like restitution here, they need to get it in heaven, in the afterlife. I never had any of that in my head as a Muslim. I mean, I knew it as a theory, I think, but it's not in my head all the time or ever. And then, so when I left this, the reason I'm saying this is a lot of people, the conception of we need afterlife for this punishment and reward because it's not happening on earth. That's what keeps them in Islam. And so me not having that is partly what made it so easy to just shed the whole stupid thing. Yeah. But now this quick story. This was maybe a couple years after separating. So my kids are really young still, like 5 years old. And my older one was sad about her mother. Part of what happened was because of the condition of my ex-wife with that jinn stuff, and she became to the point of not a functional mother for the entire time after that. She wasn't. Right. I was a single parent.
Yeah.
I was trying to help her be a functional mother.
Me and you, we raised the kids.
Yeah. Right? I was trying to still help her be a functional mother by I bought a house for her to live in so that my kids can see her too and share custody. Anyway, so at one point, my daughter told me that, that her mother told her. I don't remember how it started, but it was something to make my daughter feel better. So what her mother told her is, it's okay. In heaven, we're all going to be together. Me and the mom. And when my daughter told me that, I was like, what? Hell no. If it's going to be heaven, it's not going to be fucking heaven for me. It can't be hell for me. What the fuck is that? It sounded insane to me. What is this heaven then? People make a joke like this. This comedians have said this before. They have this joke. I don't remember any details, but he's leading you through a story of this guy that got heaven, and he got this amazing wife, and then you find out in the story, the reason the woman was there is she did something horrible in the earth life, and this is her hell.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I have a story.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I was in Syria. It was 89. So I worked as an art teacher in school in Syria.
I was 10 years old. We're in Syria. And by the way, that's my best year of school. Anyway, go on.
Yes. Best school. Yes. Amazing. Icarda. That was amazing school. So while my kids in school, I wanted to do something what I'm doing all the time is painting. And so I taught art. And I remember sitting, waiting to go to my classroom. And we were sitting, bunch of women sitting, teachers. And one teacher to the right of me, and she was saying something like, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. And I said, why are you sad? And she says, well, I am today is my turn. Today is my turn. I said, turn for what? She said, you know. I said, what do you mean, you know? I don't know. She said, it's my turn. I'm the second wife. My husband has 2 wives, and it's my turn today. And I don't have time. I'm sad because I don't have time to fix myself. That shocked me so much, because I thought to myself, I asked her how this works. You know, you're sitting in the same house, and his wife, and your wife, and you, his wife, sitting next to each other, and he goes from one room to another. This is what do you think about it? She says, I can do nothing about it. I said, why? You can. And she said, no. I told her, you're a teacher, you have your own money. Yes, you can. She said, no. What do the family would think? I said to her, what's the family or people think of someone like you take someone else's husband? She says, oh, that's how we are. And I was like getting angry at this. And from the beginning, I rejected the idea of ta'addud, that many wives, the 4 wives thing. You know, I rejected. Of course, my father never did that to, you know.
And you thought people added that
family
to the religion. And you thought people had added that to the religion.
Yes. Well, yeah. Everything I didn't like, it's added. Everything.
But at the time, this means that maybe you didn't look at the history of Muhammad and how many wives he had and how many wives his companions had and so on.
Yeah, so 4 was wrong.
I did know about Muhammad and all his wives, and I always
How did you reconcile that?
I remember what I thought about it. What's the lie that I lied to myself about? It was the lie that God asked him to do. God asked him. He's the Muhammad.
Well, not Muhammad is evil. God is evil.
It's God. Yes. How could we do this? Like, I didn't even. Like,
wait, were you thinking that God told him to do it and God was good for doing that, or God did it and God was bad for doing that?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking that deep. You think I was like a philosopher or something?
You know, no. I noticed. I know it's interesting you say that, because you know, I talk a lot on the ex-Muslim subreddit, and after this, it came out, you know, when I started noticing everyone fears hell even after they leave Islam, and I noticed that I didn't have that problem, but also I didn't even fear hell while I was a Muslim.
No, I did fear.
Yeah, I did fear hell.
I forgot where I was going with this.
Yes. And
the reason I didn't fear is, you know, I'm doing good things, the basics, you know, I don't murder, I don't rape, you know, basically I had my own conception of what is considered good. It's not exactly what Islam says, but you know, in general, everyone's doing that a little bit anyway.
Which is probably why your connection with the religion was such that you were able to make that kind of sharp.
Oh, yes, this is what made me remember something now. After I told this story on the ex-Muslim subreddit, somebody replied, "Oh, so that makes sense. You saw God as rational."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's what it is. I saw God as rational. So whatever these evil things people thought is going to happen is not going to happen, because they're seeing God as, yeah, he could be totally evil." People who fear hell, they're worried that God is fucking evil.
Actually, this kind of pattern in analyzing religion right before leaving it, what you actually notice is that in most cases, people who then become atheists actually think very highly of the ideal of God far more than what believers do. And so when they go and test that against the scripture, against how people behave, it seems that as one title of a book says, that God is too small or too little. and so they end up just throwing it away because it's not worth the respect, let alone the worship.
I think you're describing me. I think for a big chunk of the period that I thought, yeah, there's a God, Islam is true, because I was learning physics and it looked so amazing. I was like, nah, this is not an accident or whatever. Obviously, thoughts that I had heard from other people were seeping in. I don't think I invented those ideas.
Yeah.
Or maybe I did. I don't really know. But when I left Islam, and what was in my head was about the morality issue, that other physics, nature thing was not in my head at all. Like, it didn't matter.
Huh.
I'm not really sure why it didn't matter.
Yeah, because it's our brainwash. We were brainwashed. Like, literally.
All of
like,
it
we
has to
didn't
be
even
true. You can't have
question-
one big ginormous hole and the rest of it's fine. No, it's either all shit. It's weird to say it that way. It's either the truth or it is fallible and has mistakes. Once you
Right.
see that it is fallible and has mistakes, well, that means
It's over.
that also means some of it is good. You can keep some of it. You know what I mean? It's not all bad. Islam is not all bad. Nobody's saying that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have survived. If it was all bad, it would not have survived till today.
Yeah, I think so.
It has to have some
What-
good.
what-
among other
And
reasons.
people hold on to that.
Yeah.
What happens in Islam or any kind of religious or cultural product, it's that it gets polished over time, polished in order to just for it to survive. And so, like Ragad, you were saying, some things have been added. That's for sure, that's true. We know for a fact, and even Muslims themselves would say, oh, this hadith was actually something that was added later on.
Yeah.
So we know that this is the case. What happens then is that the end result that we eventually get centuries after is very different from that initial thing, and that it has morphed so much in order for it to survive. And so what you're saying, Rami, does make a lot of sense. People are going to have a lot of good things in religion mixed and built into other things that are not good. And so you have this whole package, but then when you start taking it apart, you are still going to be able to find good things. Even in the Quran itself, you can see a lot of nice things that do make sense, but they're not specific to the Quran. There's just general human things that do
Also,
make
we
sense.
have better versions of them today by far.
Yeah.
Yes. I was gonna say something, but
Go ahead.
to get back to the part where he was saying the question, what made me leave after two years and became a non-believer? It's the book of Charles Dickens. Dawkins.
Richard
right?
Dawkins, The God
Richard
Delusion,
Dawkins,
right?
No, not Charles. Yeah, Richard Dawkins. His
The God Delusion.
I read that in these 2 years, and when I finished, I knew I was absolutely delusional when I'm thinking about God. Like why would be someone like, it's logic took me out of religion completely. It's just logic. It's just
Not
like,
just
how could be a
religion,
God-
because you had already rejected religion.
Yes,
So
But-
it
so-
took you out of God belief too.
yes. It's reading that book. He is so amazing.
Gerwak asked another question.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear how you overcame the fear of hell. I think he's speaking to you because I just said a few minutes ago that I never had one. So how did you get rid of the fear of hell?
Usama? Who?
Well,
me?
no, this is about me and you. Usama, we can have another day. for
Oh,
that.
yes. Okay. So how can you explain again the question?
How did you get rid of the fear of hell? And like when? When did you get rid of the fear of hell?
So when I knew there were going to be hurriyat, the first time I knew there was hurriyat.
Let's tell people what that is. Hurriyat is the 72 virgins that you get in heaven. The guys do.
Yes, for someone who dies for his country, and 2 for any Muslim. I heard that, not to recently. 2 for any Muslim, but 72 for the person who dies for his religion and his country. So don't even.
It's actually, it's actually many more than that. It's many more than that. The 72 is kind of a number, but you have other versions where you have.
You know what? It kind of makes sense. Doesn't Muhammad say that the vast majority of women are going to hell?
Yes, that's another reason.
He had to do that because he had to give every man in heaven 72 virgins. That's their hell.
That's their hell. Yes. So when I knew that the woman's gonna sit, when a woman asked Muhammad, what do women have in Jannah, and that he kept ignoring her. Finally, in the end, he says, "You'll be with your husband." So when I knew that I am going to follow my husband, sit in some place in a tent, and my husband going up and with women, and I'm just gonna sit, wait, and just eat and get fat? What
You're saying that's the event that led, or thinking about that,
yes,
that made you stop fearing hell?
Yeah, it's like if Jannah is like this, what's about heaven, like fire and Jannah? Jannah will be as illogical as Jannah, and first and second thing, I remember logically I was thinking, like, if here on earth every time we do a crime, or do if we did, we go to jail, and in the end you might kill us, like,
unless you're Jeffrey Epstein. Anyway, go on.
Give us the shots, whatever, and that will be the end of torture. So even here, somehow we finish the torture of punishment will finish, but this merciful God sitting up there, that we call him merciful, he's going to burn my flesh and put it back again. He's going to make you alive again. Back
so
and
help me
forth.
Understand.
Forever?
Help me understand the timing of you leaving Islam and your fear of hell going away. Is it almost like the same thing?
Yeah.
Same trajectory.
Almost, yeah, it's just... By the
So
time
do you think fear of hell kept you in Islam? Was that one of the things keeping you in Islam?
Yeah.
I would say probably for many people that's the case.
Yes. I was feeling hell. So actually thinking that in the end of my life, I'm going to put a hijab and I'm going to go to Hajj. And I was going to do all these things. And of course, that's so bad. This is like for everyone, society, Muslim society, and the way it is right now, how bad it is. All the crimes, all the taharushat, all the bad things happen there. I think the reason is these people counting on going to Hajj and wash themselves from everything, and then go to heaven and meet their hurriyat.
Yeah, can I say my story about that?
Yes.
I won't say who it is, but there was what was I, 19? I was 19, and this other person was 23. We're both Muslims. And remember, I'm still another 14 years before I leave Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And this person said something about, I guess it was something about Hajj. And I was like, what about Hajj? He said something about washes away 200,000 sins.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, and what do you mean? So you could just commit a bunch of murders? And then he goes, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's fucking insane. Man, my lighting's getting worse somehow. I thought it's insane, even as a Muslim, that you could do whatever the fuck evil shit and then wash it away with Hajj shit.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I thought he was just confused about Islam. I didn't realize that is what Islam is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why society is like this right now.
The other story, this is the same guy, same age too. I'm 19, he's 23.
Yeah.
We were somewhere in public. There was like I don't know what it was. There was something that somebody had left it unattended, and he said, "Hey, Rami, why don't you get that?" I was like, what do you mean, why? He goes, well, no one will see. And I said, I will see.
Good for you.
That was really weird, the difference in perspective between him and me. And what's weird is neither of us thought about, well, also God will see.
Mm.
I wonder if maybe he was just testing me to see how I think, rather than saying his beliefs. But I found, and it was still, this is still another 14 years before I leave Islam. And, you know, even more years after that, before I reflected on this moment, and I thought, so I wasn't even worried if God sees me. I was worried of me knowing about it.
Yeah. Well, looking at it for real, it's what's actually happening is that people have personalized that kind of internal motive not to take something that doesn't belong to you versus the motive to take something that belongs to you, and then they having personalized it in the form of that God that observes all the time. It would make sense that there is something that's internal, regardless of whether you believe or not. The only difference is that people who believe in God think that, oh, what I'm feeling right now, what people would call conscience, that's actually God. That's actually horrible. But it's definitely one of the interpretations that.
And when you defy that conscience, that's the devil.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
That's.
But the way they word it is, you're letting the devil do it.
Yeah.
So if that's accurate, then you're also letting God do it. So it's still you.
It's a cop out. It's a cop out.
Yeah.
When you blame Satan, when you blame Shaitan and Satan for your bad actions, that's a cop out. This is like you're not taking responsibility for your own actions.
I thought they say when you act bad, you're letting the devil do it, meaning it was your choice. The devil spoke, but you acted on it. But what Usama just said is when you do a good thing, that's actually not you, that's God.
Yeah.
In the Quran, you can find both phrasings where good and bad comes from God, and sometimes when good on its own comes from God, and then bad comes from you. So you see two different,
and
full of contradictions, similar to you have free will, but no, you don't.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing. Man, I think we should look at this.
So what's?
It's getting darker outside, I guess.
I guess like blue. It looks like you have a blue or green hair now. To me, what happened to your color?
I think when you're moving forward or backward, you're actually changing the distance that you have. Yeah, if you go back a little bit, it's going to become a little bit more blue. Go backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna fix the light next week?
I don't know when. I gotta fix it though, because I think I like the time we have here. To be doing these regularly scheduled at your 3 p.m. my 5 p.m. I think it works.
Yeah.
But I have to fix the lighting like right away.
So what other question you want to ask?
Yeah. What other in chat? Does anyone have any questions for us? I think we answered the question pretty much, but there might be nuanced questions we haven't thought of yet.
Yeah, probably a few. There were a few things in the chat earlier.
If you find something that you thought was relevant, put it on the screen or point it out to me. He said, "My ex-Muslim shirt is empowering me." That's what's happening.
Yeah. And by the way, Ben, I'm guessing Ben Suez with that connection to Egypt from Suez. Is that what this is supposed to be? Because
I don't know, but he's also Gerwak. I don't know what you're saying. Sorry. Okay, next question. Mrs. Rustom, how did society, family extended, and your friends respond to your apostasy? Ooh. Yeah.
Oh.
How did you introduce it to various family and friends, if you have? And how has atheism changed you? Oh, that's a big second question.
Well, I'll ask the first part.
Yeah.
So it wasn't good. It was not good. After I left, see what happened is I was under a different name. Okay, so when I started painting for the magazine, that's when everybody knew.
Out of
First
Atheist
name
Magazine?
was Nadia Lutfi. My name was Nadia Lutfi or something. And so I realized that just by putting, why I'm hiding? I asked myself, why I'm hiding? I really don't care. I was getting to stronger and stronger. And I said, I remember asking you guys, Usama, and that I want to put my real name and my real picture, and I'm not going to hide anymore.
And I remember I was in your ear too saying, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So I did. And well, that was not good back home because I knew someone. So I'll tell you a little story. So I was helping my niece getting divorced from somebody who thought women are like second rate, and so he didn't want her to study. She was young. She got married young, and so I was helping her to leave him and get divorced, as she asked me, and he got angry at me because I'm helping, and he went online and find out things about me, and he went back home and told everyone about it, that I left Islam and I criticized Islam, and I'm painting on a magazine of atheists and all that. And as soon as my uncle and my cousins knew about this, they called my husband. They told people that Ragad is dead to us now, and we're not gonna ever talk to her again.
You mean your mother's brother?
Yeah, he's the youngest brother. Yeah, my brother, my uncle. I had it out with him one time. We were actually, if I talk about this, it'll be like too personal. So
yeah, but nobody knows. None of them are watching this. We're not famous enough.
Yeah, but it's still on record, so
no,
I don't think.
No, I don't want to. This is a little bit too deep. So anyway, so he defended beating wives. Okay, on the phone with me, he defended beating wives, and I told him, I reject that. That's not. Women are not animals. They're not even animals. You don't beat. They're not. They have feelings. They have. Don't you know that there's other ways to convince a woman than beating her?
Well, beating doesn't convince anyway. So.
And yeah, and then he says, well, if she disobey, if she this and that, even though he knows from one of my family happened to her, that one of women in my family happened to her, and even though he knows that, and he was affected by it, still he defended his religion. I said, I can't talk to you anymore. I have to go. I was so angry. I was yelling on the phone. And he doesn't have a daughter. And I said, would you want that for your daughter? And I didn't even listen to his answer. I hung up on him. Since then, it's been 10 years. He never talked to me. He told everybody that I'm dead to him. And of course, even if he tried to talk to me, I will never talk to him, not because he hates me now, no, because I left religion. It's because he defended beating wives.
What if he changed his mind and said, I don't agree with that anymore?
Well, that's another story. Then I'll if he apologizes,
to women or you?
for that. Not to me, to all women. Not me. You know what? When kids see their father hitting their mom, the one they love, you know what happens to what creates the boys? It creates beaters with the boys, and some what do you call it? Just weak girls who take this
Not
kind
always,
of
but yeah,
abuse.
like on average.
How old is he?
I said not always, but yes, on average.
On average.
I
don't
mean,
know.
Well, I'm telling you, I wasn't asking you.
Okay. Oh, I see.
I'm saying what you're saying is true on average, but there are outliers. Some men turn out really good, and some women, even with beatings, turn out not submissive.
Yeah, it's not 100%, but I have seen 100 times. I read about these beaters, and they beat their wives and their kids. They saw their mom being beaten when they were. So if God said that, what does he want? This God, does he want to ruin our lives? Beating wives ruin our lives. Everybody's lives. It's the worst thing ever. Marriage should not be shared. It's about love. I never seen one word of love in the Quran. Tell me if there is a word between a husband and wife.
Usama, tell us.
No, there isn't any.
There's
right,
no such
Usama?
Yeah.
No.
Well, if
No
you
love.
want the sentiment in the Quran, you have so many verses that start, God does not love or like, and then a
Yeah.
group of people. So many different
Exactly.
group of
It's
people.
always
It never
not
says
like.
God loves this group of people.
No,
Yeah.
no, God loves. No, there's no such thing.
No love.
That's actually
Absolutely.
that. Right now, this is actually one of the things that you would find in polemics where Christians try to make a comparison between the Quran and the Gospels, is that supposedly we're talking about a religion that does not recognize human dignity, etc., versus a religion of love. So there is something to it, of course, but it's a kind of it distorts the picture considerably in other ways. But yeah. This is probably one of the things that shocks many people who have never actually read the Quran, but there is absolutely no mention of love in any way.
Hate, killing.
Yeah, but to be clear, the whole world at that time probably also didn't have a concept of where love was really part of the marriage. Like the concept of marriage, even in the West, I think was similar.
Yeah,
I think Christianity was love. Christianity has some love in it. Right? Isn't it like it tells the man to stay with one wife? All their life? I don't know.
Even in Islam, you can actually extract certain things that might be so there's compassion, that's for sure, but love as such, as a thing on its own, whether it's amongst humans or between God and humans, it's not something that's in the Quran.
Well, we have to admit that in all religions, Abrahamic religions, and even before that, women are second rate. We have to admit that. So a man
pretty much the whole world is patriarchal.
Yeah. So
there might have been societies that was egalitarian, or maybe even the other direction of women controlling men. I don't know. But almost the whole world was patriarchal. The entire Western beginning, and in the entire Arab beginning, and I'm pretty sure it's in India too, China.
Up to 120 years ago, even in America, in marriage, they have to tell the wife, have to say, obey.
Even like 20 years ago, some of our states in the U.S. still had no law that said marital rape was a thing.
Yeah.
Which means men get to rape their wives.
Yeah.
In America, in a bunch of states, like 20 years ago.
What this tells us? Tell us we are just getting better and better, even though our religions man-made.
Slow.
Very slowly, but we have laws now that prevent that. It's a woman could go and say, sue her husband, or they have rights. Women have rights.
Can we move on to the next question? Gurwat also asked you, how has atheism changed you? And this is probably a good question for me too, but let's go with you first. How has atheism changed you?
Oh, happy. I was not happy before. I felt guilty that I did not pray regularly. Even though I saw, I blamed that I wasn't raised that way, that I have to pay, but I felt guilty. And I felt, so I was sad about that because I felt guilty. And so when I left, I was sad and angry for a long time. But after that, I'm the happiest woman, I have to say. Happiness is very important. I know I don't fear death at all, because while death is here, I'm not here to see it or know about it. I fear death of my own family. That I fear that, not fearing, no, not fear. It's just being sad to separate. I know my kids everybody gonna be sad when I leave, but when I leave, I'm not gonna know. And so I made friends with death after I left Islam and after I became ex-Muslim. And I call myself humanist because I love everybody. And
Even Hitler.
I'm happy. Huh?
Even Hitler and Muhammad.
No, everybody. It does not. Everybody now know what I meant. What I meant is, I don't look at someone who's a Christian, a Jew, or whoever, and I say he is like this, so he's separate from. He's not like me, and so I separate from him. I'm gonna.
So how about when we meet aliens?
I love everybody.
How about when we meet aliens? Are you going to say, screw you guys, you're not human?
Rami.
I'm serious.
I love aliens too.
Okay.
What do you think?
All right.
I will.
Now, how about artificial general intelligence, AIs, when they become fully intelligent like us? Are you going to be like, humans are good, aliens are good, but not you guys?
What if they're bad? How are you going to love them if they're bad? Hopefully they become good. That's AI is something to fear.
All right, let me answer for myself now.
Yeah, go ahead, Rami. What about you? Okay. How was it?
How has atheism changed me? And Mama, maybe you can disagree with me because you also watched my life. I don't think I changed too much.
Rami's Rami.
So like I left when I was 32. When I was in college, I loved, physics, chemistry, biology. I'm still that way now. Physics comes up in our discussions all the time, by the way. But there was definitely a change, but I don't know how unique it is to religion. So let me explain. When I left Islam, I felt like a huge freedom, because what I understood was it's like I just left the Matrix.
Yeah.
If people watch the trilogy, The Matrix, and you understand the metaphor that it's describing, leaving a religion is like that. The Matrix, the story is like saying, hey, there's these rules of the world that nobody questions. You just think they're real. Then you find out later, those are all fake. You don't have to follow them. So when I left Islam, I had that experience. I was very angry, like my mom said. I don't know which one was first. I think I was very sad first, but it was all like within a span of minutes.
Me, anger. I wrote things.
But then when I left Islam and I started researching a lot about all sorts of things, I found out other matrices that I escaped. One was really close to it. As soon as I left Islam, within a few months, I found out about what the U.S. education system was designed for. And that was another matrix I escaped. I was even more upset about that one than I was about leaving Islam. And then recently I've found some. It's been 15 years since I left Islam. Recently I found a matrix I escaped.
Mm.
So I don't know how to say, like, I didn't change much, but also leaving religion is not that much different than leaving a lot of other kinds of matrices.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Or am
Yeah,
I
yeah.
boiling it down too
I
much
have
and
a
it's not
question for
meaningful
you.
anymore?
I have a question, Rami, for you. Did you love life more now than 15 years ago? I did. I love life now more than before.
Do you mean things like you enjoy things more?
Yeah, this is because
I
know
definitely answer
this is
yes
the
to I
only
enjoy
life I
things
have.
more. Yeah.
Because
I'll
the
definitely
only
say yes
life I
to
have.
that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, if you think about this as a kind of a crisis that you have been going through right before completely cutting all ties with the religion, then there's definitely going to be a kind of a relief once you have reached the other bank of that river, or reach the shore, as it were. And so it does make sense that there has to be some kind of a relief, no matter what it is. Even if you have not really changed as a person, you're still the same person, you're still who you are. There is something that has changed that's going to definitely affect the quality of how you experience life and what you actually do with it.
Related
Okay.
question. Gurwak asks, did you two have to rebuild yourselves or your beings after leaving Islam, your values, your goals, etc.?
I did, yeah. I rethought about everything. And I changed. Of course, there will be something else if I was very religious, absolutely sheikha, if I was sheikha and then became the way I am right now. I was moderate Muslim before, but my thinking, I rethought about everything. I looked at the world in different eyes. I was relieved and sad about spending my life thinking about and believing in this stuff, and I was happy. And what else? I always think about it. I always sit before I sleep. I always think about how my life went, and I'm happy now, even
So
though
for
with
me,
everything else.
right when I left Islam, I remember the earliest thought I had was, and I put this in cap because I was journaling. I wrote, I have to rethink everything. And that was an exciting thought.
Yeah.
And I wrote it in caps. That was the whole thought, the whole paragraph, the whole essay. I have to rethink
Give me an
everything.
example, Rami. Like, for example.
Well,
I'm
first of
going
all,
to give my example.
First of all, I wasn't very good at rethinking everything because
Yeah.
it's extremely, especially given, how I led my life for 32 years under Islam. It's hard to tell which things in your head came from where, and whether it was something that I really believed or it was I got fooled by it. Did I have my own reasoning, or it's propaganda in my head that somebody put in there? And then which entity put it in there? Was it Islam? Was it America? Which parts of America?
Wow.
Who, what, where, how far back?
I never thought this way.
So, and here's the point. When I had that attitude, every new idea I saw, I was ready to entertain it, even if it totally contradicted anything I thought before.
Wow.
One of the earlier ones was, hey, punishment is bad. Don't do punishment. Because it came down to how learning works and whether punishment is counterproductive or actually achieves its intended goal. Everyone who talks about punishment, they say words like, well, we want to teach them a lesson. Lesson means learning. So I shed all of that within the first few months of leaving Islam. There was still a lot of, like, how do I say that? Intellectually, I shed it, but there was still a ton of ideas and processes you have that were still consistent with punishment. So it still took many years to identify those things, recognize them as punishment, and then change it. You know, the whole relationship between parent and child. And the reason I cared about those things is, you know, when I left Islam, I had 2 children, 3 and 2 years old. And one of my earliest thoughts was, but this is still from before I left Islam. Remember, I want to raise kids well. I want to give them morality. And before it was, well, that's Islam. So let me get a wife, a Muslim wife. Well, now it was, I remember thinking, I don't want them to go and have the schooling experience that I had. And that's related to that matrix I left about the American school system. So I thought, in some way, I want to be the primary person involved in my kids' education, as opposed to the typical thing in America. And I guess this is like the whole world, really. You have kids and it's like, okay, I feed him. The teachers at school teach him. I didn't think that was a great idea, especially given what I had learned about the American education system. So somehow I knew I need to learn philosophy. I knew that my kids need to learn philosophy, which meant I had to learn it because I didn't know it. And I think I got that from Icarda. I understood the value of philosophy from my 1 year in 5th grade in Syria. It wasn't a Syrian school. It was a European school. The students weren't Syrians either. It was the children of the
doctors,
of the foreigners who live in Syria, related to the agricultural research that Icarda did.
Yeah, Icarda.
Yeah. So then quickly I found a book about homeschooling, and it was heavily about philosophy. And then shortly after that, and we're still talking a few months after leaving Islam. We're talking 2011 still. Right? Yeah. I found a philosophy book, and then I found out that the author contributed to making a parenting philosophy. That's where I learned about the punishment is evil thing. But not just about punishment is evil, but the relationship between parent and child. That's related, but punishment is evil applies to everything, including prison. That's adults to adults, you know. But in this scenario, it's parent to child. And I was learning all about freedom. So I wasn't even really trying to intend to change my values and my goals or whatever. But that happened because part of my big goal was learn a bunch. Go find out all the bullshit that's in my head that people put in there. And that led me to changing so many things without really knowing where you're going. You know, the road is gonna. Does anyone know what I'm trying to say here and can finish my sentence?
Yeah. I understand.
Somebody's asking what the philosophy book was. It's called The Beginning of Infinity. I should say a little bit more than that.
Well, you've been saying a lot about it since we started recording these episodes. So
exactly. You've been talking about it for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing book. I don't agree with everything David Deutsch says. I think that should be obvious to people. But I probably have more agreement with him than anyone else. Like if you take any 2 people and map out their entire ideas and see whether they match or not, mine is more close to David Deutsch than anyone else. I mean, he's a physicist by profession. I think that helped a little bit. The book, The Beginning of Infinity, it's a lot of philosophy. There's physics in there too. Yeah. He's British, English. Maybe he's English. I don't know.
Yeah, he's English.
Yeah, English. And the parenting philosophy is called taking children seriously. And the other co-founder is Sarah Fitzclarridge. I hope I'm spelling this right. I think it's right. If people wanted to see that.
So by the way, Usama, I'll send you the picture soon.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Every day we have no son. I wanted to take it out and take it. So I was working on it too. So probably tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yes. And I look forward to see it on the cover of magazine. And of course,
Actually,
this one behind me.
Yeah,
this
I was
gonna
actually
be
going to ask about that. Yeah,
Which one?
can you say a couple of words about the one behind you?
Oh, that one, yeah. Well, this one is, look at that. You know who is these people? Anyway, so well, this is like a 20 years painting that I add to, and it has. Do you see it? Do you see what's in it? There is all the way down. Okay, I should get up and so anyway. So this is about women in Islam, and this is project I started this painting a long time ago, and that's what got me into the magazine. Anyway, in the beginning, it was I asked the admins in the Shabake in 2014. I asked if they want this painting. I thought it was done. It was not done, but I thought, oh, I'll just ask them if they want to put this painting. Can I put this painting up in the Shabake? And right away, not even 10 minutes, he came back and he says, well, we have a magazine. We have a magazine. You could put this painting up on the cover. And can you work for us? And I said, oh, yeah, of course. Why not? So at that time, Ghurab, you remember Ghurab and his brother, the one who passed away, and Zoro, and who else? A bunch of others, and Alia. We worked together for a long time, for 13 covers we did together. And so this is the painting that started the whole thing. And then it never got finished. I never, because I got busy doing other things, so I never finished it. And then when women kept dying because of hijab and other things, so I started painting the women who died because of Islam. And then I'm adding other things. So it's just a project that it's like, I don't work every day, of course. Every month maybe I'll do something, but I will finish it. And I'm doing one for Sharif Jabir, and I am doing one for Khadija. Khadija is
she's doing a piece of art for ex-Muslims of North America, a thing they're doing for Women's History Month. And they're going to take a few women in history of Islam. And the idea is the women they're picking is women that today Muslims say are Islamic figures, but really they defy the entire idea of what Islam says about how women are or should be.
Yeah.
So we have another question, Mama.
Yes.
Did you reread the Quran after you left?
Many times.
What were your reactions?
Many times. Yeah. I read, actually I reread, and I kept saying to myself, how could I read this and then never understood it fully and never thought about how bad it is. I mean, I was angry at myself for believing, especially the word sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. How
All right,
could I
explain to
accept
people who don't know Arabic what that means.
sallallahu alayhi? It means God praise to Muhammad.
God is
and then
praising
say hello
Muhammad.
to
What
him.
the fuck?
Yes, God will pray to the guy who he employed to tell everyone about Islam. Why would he? You could tell it was all bad, but never, like in wildest dream, I did not think, and I repeated it like a parrot instead of thinking about it. When I did realize what I'm saying, I was really angry. So I read the whole Quran. Now I have the whole Quran. It's been like 12 years. I have it still. It's all written. It's all like has lines and question marks and kept doing all kind of
Note taking.
yes. And so I still have it.
Okay,
Well,
let's do
you
two
know,
more questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Sam.
I was just going to say that most Muslims recite the Quran every day in their prayers, but the majority
I
of
understand.
Muslims don't even know what they're reciting. I mean,
Yeah.
put aside the people who don't speak Arabic, which is actually the majority of Muslims. Take the actual people who speak Arabic. It's
They
also
also
those
don't know
who-
what they're saying.
they don't.
Yeah.
They have no idea what the
We
text
gave an
is
example
saying.
earlier in this episode.
I mean, look at all the literature that sprang up a couple of centuries after the death of Muhammad. Volumes upon volumes of exegesis that is meant to explain what the Quran is saying. Nobody really understands. Even alleged companions of Muhammad himself. There are certain places where they say we have no idea what this says.
Yeah.
So we're approaching 2 hours. I think we should do two more questions that
Yeah.
are already in the chat. Okay.
All right.
Gerwalk also asked, when did you start your art? Weren't you like 4 years old?
Very young. Says I used to draw on walls of my house,
old were you?
my mother's house. Yeah, and then so she.
How old were
and,
you?
and I was very young, since like that I remember. So it's like 3 or 4, and yeah. So they saw me try to faces. I am fascinated with faces and expressions, and so I by the time. I was 12 and 13. My father, I already drew all kind of, drawings of like less famous actors, famous for everybody.
Realistic. You're drawing realistic faces.
Realistic, yeah, real, like almost like a picture, but all black and white. All. But so
Sketching
my
with a
father
pencil.
decided, yeah. My father wanted to. He's, as you know, he's very educated, and he believes in women, mentality, like brain power. So he always thought we had 4 kids. He had 4 kids, and he says to my 3 girls and 1 boy, and he used to tell us, the girls, listen, don't tell me I'm a girl. I'm gonna sit home and put makeup and don't go to college and and think that your husband gonna come and take you or whatever. I have 4 boys. Don't tell me I don't have 3 girls and a boy. I have 4 boys. So he took me to school, a special school for art, and I stayed 2 years. And
in Aleppo?
I learned. I remember there's one famous artist who died now. He was in the school, and he told me that he was really proud of me. He says, you're going to be doing good job, and he told me you have courage. He's looked at my drawings, because my drawings are big. As you see, I always picked big paintings and drawings, and he says, he told me that I have courage.
And from what I understand, because I've heard other stories, you didn't even know that other people had trouble going big.
Yes, I didn't even know that. Yes, and apparently they do, and I get more energy when I paint big paintings like this. And I when I do small, I get confined, and I don't. This one right there, it's too small for me.
That's for
Even
Free
though
Betty. That's for
this
Betty
is
Leshkar.
yeah. Here I have a painting here. I'm doing a city. There's another one here, and one day we'll talk about all my paintings, and we'll just go to the.
One day we're gonna need a series.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, we'll have big thing.
We're gonna need a
Especially
series.
for that. I'm
like
so
10
proud.
episodes.
I have to. I'm so glad I worked with Usama. He's amazing. Usama is the best thing.
Okay, now you have someone saying he wants to see that series.
Well, yeah, we definitely need to actually make something about the paintings. I mean, we when I visited you, we tried something initial, but probably
we
need
did.
to
To put we did. Yeah, he took pictures and we took video, and yes. But
okay, one more question.
Yes, sorry, go ahead. No, it's gone now.
Okay.
No.
And this is not really related, but he asked twice, so I thought to go ahead and put it on. What do you think of the fact that Muslims change the meanings of words in the Quran or reinterpret verses to fit modern Western values and modern day science?
You want to answer or me?
I mean, it's no different than what you and I were saying earlier, where we would basically make excuses for the religion to excuse it.
Yes. Yeah.
We were reinterpreting, but that's like we were lying for Islam, not realizing we're doing that, obviously.
Now,
this is mostly actually a kind of a Western thing. I mean, there are people in the Muslim world who do something like that, but the extent of the change in the meaning and what the typical understanding is, and the twisting of the words, this is something that's specifically done for the sake of presenting the Quran to the West, right. Because in the Muslim world, you have the mainstream as something that's represented by the typical traditional interpretation, and they're absolutely not ashamed by it. On the contrary, when you actually see someone who is doing the reverse, they might be considered to be a heretic. So I think on the whole, this is actually not a bad thing. It means that there is some kind of a change that's happening. The results, unfortunately, do involve a great deal of deception because they are misrepresenting things. But at the same time, it means that there is actually a possibility for a kind of a growth of the religion into something else in an environment that's other than the incubation that you have in the Muslim society. So you have never take the words at face value. Actually, try to dig in and try to understand what the real text says. But at the same time, probably taking this as something that has potential for creating change. That's not a bad thing.
Yes. So there's another question?
No.
No.
That's all we got. And I'm tired, guys. My butt hurts. I can't go more than 2 hours.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
This was good.
And
what I'm going to do
for me.
I don't normally do this for these episodes, but this one is good enough where I want to do timestamps, and then probably cut up some of these videos, make clips, and I haven't done that in a while either. But this one seems right.
Okay, great.
I don't know why I'm telling you guys.
All right. Well, thank you for doing this.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Right. See you next time. And
bye.
Again, we're going Fridays at 5 p.m. Central now.
Okay.
And I'm going to fix my lighting. All right.
It's better time for me too,
All right.
if you want me to come. All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome too. Plenty
Thank
of time.
you.
Yeah. People
All right.
people are saying they like that you're here. You know. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Take it easy.
All right.